Well, I'm heading south now, walking along the Murrah. I'm actually walking around the nature reserve in Newcastle. I'm going down the beach on this way. Just saw some interesting activity. Beetle impaled on a fence, on a barbed wire fence. And that could mean there are shrikes around. Probably does. Shrikes are known as butcher birds because they impale their insect prey on little spikes and bushes, and they'll use barbed wire. And so they'll have a collection of insects and things they found. And this was a big fat dung beetle, so that'd be their kind of prey. So there's a good chance might see a shrike around here, and if I can, when I cross into the nature reserve, I'll try and get close to that prey item and get a good video of it. But for now, I'm walking down from 6 Mile Point, which is Newcastle Station, to 5 Mile Point, which is where those houses are down there. And I don't think that was ever a railway station, but it's a cluster of houses at the top of a road, and you can cross into the East Coast Nature Reserve, the Black Ditch Woods Reserve on that side. And it's going to be quieter than Newcastle because there's a huge amount of tourists at Newcastle Station right now. A huge amount of tourists at the Nature Reserve in Newcastle right now. So I'm going into the deeper part, the quiet part, where the ponies live, the Kerry Bog ponies. So hopefully I'll see something interesting. This lovely little plant, which looks like a kind of an ice cream in colour, pink with white, and some are all white. This is the sea bindweed, and it's quite small. If you see my hands, very not like the great bindweed you see blowing or growing along the hedgerows. Lovely little plant. It's not a pest or anything, it's just too small, and it grows where it can be stepped on. And this is a beautiful, completely wild meadow. And look at, there's something I haven't seen this year. Painted lady butterfly. That flower she's on is called sheep's bit. So it's great to see a painted lady. It's great. It's a little windy, so if my voice is going out, it's just the wind blowing it away. Ah, she's an absolute beautiful beauty. She's probably flown in from abroad now because they're migrant species. Sorry, that's a plane flying overhead, and off she goes. There are a good few interesting insects on these meadows because once people aren't walking around on them, they go really wild. And because this is part of the railway, there's barbed wire fence here, and that creates that beautiful meadow. And there's no reason for the railway to go hacking at it except to keep down the gorse bushes. Now, here is something interesting. It's not in the meadow. There is a horsefly. It's going to have a go biting me. That horsefly has been dogging me now for about 100 meters. He's probably flying around me right now, but he was trying to do a slide thing, which is what horseflies do, which is climb up under your sleeve. And if you're wearing gloves, they also sometimes climb up under your gloves. And they're kind of like moths. They don't make noise most of the time when they fly, unless they're flying away. And they're flying at huge speed. So, I'm not sure if you can hear any of that, but hopefully. Now, the horsefly is coming at me again, so I'm going to... You don't usually find them on the beach or this close to the sea. It's just that the meadow here is so good. That I think that's the first one I've had properly attacking me this year. So we'll see how it goes. If I have to Tell myself I would like to actually catch it and get rid of it, because they'll follow you forever if they get the chance, and they will bite you as soon as they get any opportunity. And that's the clegg fly, which is the common horsefly, and they're a terrible nuisance in the summer, and they usually only appear after about the 20th of June, so up until then you have a great time, and then after that, depending on the weather, you can be running the gauntlet of horseflies. Here it's hard to spot it, but on that rock you can see a bee fly, but they're parasitic flies that look like bees. They're parasites of other flies generally. You can see it there. And as you can see, it looks just like a bee. And this is a 6-spot burnet moth. Because it has 6 spots on its wings. It looks like a bee. It's definitely a moth, a day flying moth. And it's got some sort of toxins which it's advertising. There's a few of them around here. You always find them near the sea. Now this is something you don't want to see happening, which is a thunderstorm forming. And it's caused by the sunshine. If it wasn't such a beautiful day, so sunny and hot as it is over here, you wouldn't be getting this over here. Anyway, we're in serious horsefly country now, so I won't be messing around. There's a sign, no hunting. This is a nature reserve. There's always poachers though. So hopefully we won't get soaked wet here. This used to be a great place to find water scorpions. I'd say they're still around. Absolutely under siege from sweat flies as the thundery weather comes in. And here's a peacock butterfly, shiny and new. See if I can get closer without disturbing it. Funny, there's not so many in the gardens this year. There it is. Fantastic butterfly. Now this one is as new, it must have just hatched today. This one here is a meadow brown butterfly. Real high summer butterfly. Beautiful. They're not as spectacular. There's a honeybee. Now we're still kind of close to the sea road, so we're going to move inland a bit. And there we go. So they're all feeding on bramble. Beautiful butterfly. So here we are, the wood white butterfly, something I haven't seen in a few years. Gorgeous butterfly. A small butterfly, it's very small compared to others. I'll put my, I scared it, but I was just trying to show you for scale my thumb. The butterfly is only a little bit bigger than that. Now the sweat flies are starting to come thick and fast. And the horseflies will be hiding among the sweat flies. In fact, I think that's why the horseflies, they hang around with the sweat flies. Sweat flies just want to drink your sweat, what they get in your face. The horseflies want to drink your blood, so they rely on the distraction of the sweat flies to do that. I need to make friends with a lot of insectivorous birds, but there's a good few around. It's a lovely shallow, I don't think it's a river so much as a ditch. The sort of woods where you expect to see Bigfoot. Now on the other side of this reserve there's a lot of people today, so hopefully it'll be nice and quiet. But there's not a soul on so far that I've seen over here. So this is into the main bit of the reserve after walking. I don't think that gate's been open in a long time because it was very stiff. Now our sunshine's gone and we're under cloud, and hopefully it won't rain, it'll just miss us. But sunshine over here, oh, cloud over there, and the cloud of flies just to make life interesting. Here we are in the main part of the reserve. It's turned into a dull. It's not actually a dull day, there's blue sky over there. In fact, over the sea here, blue sky. It's just here we have ugly clouds. It's just as though somebody flicked a switch and decided to change the day. And instead of that beautiful sunny day, we have this. We've had quite a bit of cloud actually this week, so now I can smell ponies. That is to say, I can smell pony dung. I saw some back there, so there might be some around here. And it was on the trail, this narrow bit. So we'll see what happens while the flies keep attacking. So this is pony poo. So I know pony herd must be near somewhere. Came from that direction. I'm heading this way. And I'm absolutely surrounded by a cloud of flies, which seems to be kind of goes with the territory. Alien landing strip, possibly. Lots of interesting birds around. Yeah. No ponies. Crap. A few horseflies are getting in on me here. The reason I'm wearing this garish shirt is because, first of all, you can't really sneak up on anything here if you want to take a photo. But second of all, I need long sleeves, and this is the only convenient long sleeve I had. I don't want horseflies climbing all over my arms, because oh, look at these on my hand. Although they're sweat flies, thank God. Well, sign in the middle of the woods here, because normally you come up this way after you enter the woods, and this kind of shows you where you are. It's pretty good. But me, that cloud of flies walking with me, flying alongside me, fly guard of honour. And those, I love those rosebud. Like I say, if I stop, my face is going to be covered in flies. This is not good. But so that's what should have been a nice, gentle walk. It's going to turn into a trot, and accompanied by the wonderful sound of buzzing flies. And here's something beautiful. This is a honeysuckle, and it's already had its flowers. And look at it growing up there. It's swung around an old dead branch. It's a beautiful plant though. The flies aren't quite as bad as they were. There's a fern, really beautiful fern. I think this might be the so-called male fern. With spores underneath it. Those little white things are the seeds. Beautiful plant. I'm a big fan of ferns, but they could happily be in anyone's garden as well, and sometimes they are. Well, someone went to a lot of trouble to make a walkable area over all this mud. It's a good job. Just all they did was lay out. Oh, they got some planks and a few branches. Look at that. That's definitely the end of a pallet board. Well, there's something you don't see every day. A wheelbarrow made out of an old fishing box. Flotsam. I actually use those fishing boxes myself. I used to put little plants into them and things like that. Gardens. Anyway, here we go. Here, come to the boardwalk, which is a bit noisy, but it's nice. It smells nice. And somebody has been pruning here, which is an electric or a petrol-driven trimmer, probably because it was just getting too bad. As you can see now, still got a good complement of flies with me. It's the way it's more that they just keep getting in your eyes and your mouth and things. But if you came down here earlier in the day, you wouldn't see them. Later, well, yeah, not so bad towards the evening. See a bit of work going on. See a wheelbarrow. I'd say somebody has already gone to the hide, because someone's doing work here to get away from the flies. And they're probably gone on their break. That makes sense, because you don't want to be hanging around here with all these flies, and you certainly wouldn't want to be trying to eat anything. You wouldn't stand a chance to be eaten alive yourself. I'm just coming out of the woods, and I have to say I'm really glad I am. It was those flies, they finally gave up when I went past where a guy was working, and he was there was a smell of petrol in the air. He was cutting these weeds. Well, not weeds, there's no weeds here, it is a nature reserve, but he's cutting back the reeds where they were overhanging the paths and things. Interesting gentleman with a hat with about 40 feathers in it. He almost looked like he had a war bonnet. Anyway, so the flies are still with me, but not so much. And here I'm coming back out now onto near the beach where I was when I started, but I'm further along in the main nature reserve. So it's a different. If you start at 5 Mile Point, you come this is about halfway along back towards the original, the main one, which was a bit busy at the moment, so hopefully it's quieting down. There's supposed to be a lot of pike in there. I haven't seen any, but it's quite deep, and perch as well. There's sheep low down in the grass trying to keep out of the way of the flies. See, they're flicking their ears because they've been bothered. And they've probably been bothered by horseflies as much as anything, but those sweat flies are very irritating creatures. And they're all sitting down low. The flies seem to prefer you if you're up high like I am. Now this is a common door beetle, and it's impaled on a barbed wire fence, and this is what I spotted from the beach earlier. Now this could be, now maybe somebody did it, or maybe it was a freak accident, although you can see it's well stuck in the thorax there, but I think this was probably put there by a shrike. I haven't seen, there were shrikes here last year. And it's definitely dead anyway, so I'm not leaving it in agony. It's already been killed. It's possible to shrike now. But what shrikes do is, now we did have them last year, shrikes, and I think I may even have seen one at British Bay in the autumn. But what they do is they impale insects on barbed wire, or, well, usually spiky plants, and that's why they're called butcher birds. They're basically like a type of small bird of prey almost. They mostly eat insects. They don't really eat other birds or anything like that. But they're their own kind of bird of prey. There's a few different species, and they have sort of hooked bird of prey like tips to their beaks. So this is where I am, and this, I actually thought I probably won't find it. I couldn't remember exactly where it was in relation to the wire, but there it is. Now, a person might have done that. I don't think so. It'd be very odd to do. It could be a freak accident, but I'd say a shrike did it, because there have been shrikes here before, and I'd say more of these will start turning up on fences. Well, there's the ram anyway. He hasn't been shorn yet properly, I don't think. Oh no, his fur has just grown back, or his wool has grown back quicker. Now he's the boss anyway. Keep him watch. Lovely creatures.